The money world is in a big tizzy because JP Morgan just leaked the tool that banks have been using to save millions of dollars every day. And the digital asset that's making news, XRP, runs it all. You may have heard of XRP, but did you know that banks can send more than $1 billion a day without using the old SWIFT network? There has been a huge change. This movie will explain how Ripple's on-demand liquidity (ODL) solution is changing the way banks handle international payments, making them faster and more efficient. From problems with liquidity to XRP's atomic swaps taking the place of standard FX markets, the change is clear. You don't want to miss this cash flow change. Let's look into what the future holds for banks. First, let's talk about liquidity, which is a big issue for banks and other financial institutions when it comes to foreign payments. A big problem was brought up in a recent study from the Bank for International Settlements (BS). About $120 billion is stuck in nostro accounts around the world. For those who don't know, nostro accounts are basically bank accounts held by banks in other countries to make it easier for people to send money to each other across borders. The catch is that this money does nothing and costs banks millions of dollars in liquidity fees and wasted time and effort. To make international payments possible, banks need to keep large amounts of foreign currencies in these accounts. However, these accounts are often left empty, which puts a strain on the bank's finances. The truth is that a lot of banks aren't just paying for liquidity, they're also missing out on interest and investment chances that could help them make a lot more money. It would be possible to take advantage of these chances if these funds could be put to better use, like making loans or investments. But here's the more important thing. These reserves don't even promise that banks will be able to get the cash they need when they need it. What do banks do to make things better? They often find themselves in a tough spot while looking for other options. Their only option up until now was to use slow, expensive tools like SWIFT, which are not very useful. In that case, how do you fix this problem with liquidity? The on-demand liquidity (ODL) service from Ripple is a revolutionary answer. Ripple's ODL is based on a simple idea. So banks don't have to keep billions of dollars in nostro accounts, they can use XRP to promptly send money to other countries. It works well, quickly, and doesn't require setting up accounts in different countries ahead of time. But don't believe us. I'd like to show you some cases from real life. One of the most interesting is Ripple's relationship with SBI Remit, which is one of the biggest money transfer companies in Japan. Ripple's ODL platform is already being used by SBI Remit to make foreign payments easier, especially between Japan and the Philippines. They don't have to wait days for deals to settle because ODL lets them process payments right away. This saves them money and time on foreign exchange operations. This change has already saved SBI millions of rupees in fees that were usually charged for old methods. Volante Technologies is another important partner because it adds Ripple's ODL technology to its real-time payments platform. Volante is a well-known leader in payment solutions. By adding Ripple's ODL, they're making it possible for banks to quickly access global cash without having to worry about keeping too much capital in foreign accounts. The start of these relationships is just the beginning. As more people use Ripple's ODL, other banks around the world are starting to pay attention. They see that XRP could be the liquidity answer they've been looking for a long time. Now, let's talk about atomic swaps, which are one of the coolest parts of XRP's technology. Think about a world where banks and other institutions don't have to use the old-fashioned foreign exchange markets, which are often slow, useless, and expensive. The atomic swap technology in XRP could be the key to getting into that world. There are only a few big players in the world's foreign exchange market, which is worth an amazing $6.6 trillion every day. At the moment, banks have to go through middlemen to exchange currencies, and payment times are often several days. With XRP's atomic swaps, however, currencies can be exchanged directly between peers in real time on the blockchain. There is no middleman, so there are no delays. The financial exchanges are quick, cheap, and clear. With atomic swaps, XRP lets a bank change one currency for another right away, without having to trust a third party or wait for the normal payment times. This technology might be able to replace the whole FX market as we know it. That way, banks and other institutions would not have to pay as many fees and transaction costs. They could use that money for other services or assets. The foreign exchange market is a very big business, but it can still be upset. Some people think that Ripple's atomic swaps could change the way Forex works and make XRP the standard asset used to buy and sell currencies in the future. What this could mean could be nothing less than enormous. You might be thinking why more banks haven't fully adopted XRP and Ripple's ODL technology if they're so good. Why is it so secret? The answer lies in the way things are now and not wanting to make any changes. International payments made across borders have been dominated by SWIFT for decades, and banks have come to rely on its method. It's old, slow, and expensive, but everyone does it that way. Banks have spent years building relationships within this system. If they suddenly switch to a new one, especially one that uses blockchain and cryptocurrency, many of their current partners may not want to work with them anymore. That's why banks don't want to publicly support Ripple and XRP. Some banks might even feel like regulators want them to keep quiet about using blockchain-based solutions. People are afraid of being watched closely by regulators or of taking on too much risk by switching to new technology too quickly. But as pressure mounts on the world's banks to cut costs and work more efficiently, more of them will finally understand that Ripple and XRP are the way of the future, and the future is now. What do you think? Will on-demand liquidity and XRP really take the place of the trillion-dollar foreign exchange market? Should SWIFT step down, or will they be able to adapt to the changes that XRP brings? Leave your thoughts in the box below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this new banking era. It was fun to learn more about the XRP liquidity machine and how Ripple is quietly changing the way banks move money around the world. If you thought this movie was interesting, please click the like button to show your support and share it with your staff and friends. Please leave a comment with your ideas, feedback, or any questions you have about Ripple or XRP. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get more news about Ripple, XRP, and the constantly changing world of cryptocurrencies. Watch out, because we'll be back with even more groundbreaking material on the future of finance and digital currencies. Stay ahead of the curve until next time, and thanks for watching. See you in the next movie.